Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bodied, a Cloud9 fan cast. We got more wins today, Frozen. It's not going to be a lot of losses. We got victories to talk about.
Yeah, I was actually not on last week's podcast, so I didn't get a chance to talk about it. But as of today, I believe Cloud9 is 9 wins behind TSM for becoming the all-time winningest regular season LCS team ever. Obviously, TSM plays on Monday Night League, and we are recording this Monday night during the Cloud9 Academy game. So, anything that happens after this is not true at the time of our recording.
You also spent like all weekend trying to calculate out who has the most wins. You were actually going through like a whole like quandary of like, do I count MSI? Do I count like other things? And it was really funny.
It was a long process, but I think it was fun. I couldn't find I couldn't find a place where anyone had counted all of the all-time LCS wins in anything. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to just do it. So
Yeah, that makes
I have
sense.
every Riot-related LCS event tabulated into a sheet. Regular season, playoff, Rift Rivals, going all the way back to season 3, Worlds for season 1.
Oh, jeez.
And Cloud9 is 36 wins short of Team Solo Mid in everything. And Team Solo Mid had a full split more in LCS where they played 28 games. So
all we have to do is kill all the TSM players.
Yes, exactly.
Or somehow make their organization like declare bankruptcy and have to fold.
No, it will catch up. By the end of the split, we could be tied after playoffs.
That's like fairly good.
Or not all time, but during the in regular season, the best we can do is I think be 2 wins behind. But still, we should bypass them for regular season all-time wins next split. Hopefully.
Well, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and that was giving them a 28 game season head start. So
the gap is slowly closing.
Yeah, but as I was trying to get to, this is recorded Monday night, and the C9 Academy team just won. So anything that happens after now does not count.
Right.
But yeah, we have a lot of news, so jump into it.
Yeah, let's jump into it. We have some small stuff. C9's World of Warcraft team participated in the Method Mayhem 3v3 tournament. This was the first week. Apparently, I guess they're doing like multiple weeks. This was the first week. They went all the way down to the round 4 of the lower bracket, and they lost to, and this is, I'm not making this name up, Sofa King Sick. That's the name.
They lost to them.
There's a space between Sofa and King, and we lost to them. I think maybe 3-1.
Not ideal, Chief.
No, it was not. I think our issue with their WoW team is that if the Druid Warlock Frostmage combo is strong, we look amazing, and like it's really hard to stop us. But when it comes to trying to like, it looks like the meta right now favors Fire Mages more than Frost Mages. So, Wealthy Man doesn't seem to be too keen on moving away from the Frost Mage. So you just have a mage that's just doing way less DPS than the Fire Mage, and you're having to rely more on your, Channel with his Warlock critting and hoping that Cubsy can keep everyone topped up with his Druid. And, when you're going against a Fire Mage and just having to deal with a lot larger chunks of DPS, it seems like just a bit more difficult. Maybe we'll throw out some other stuff. Maybe we'll see maybe Snuts play some more rogues. Snutsy did sub in for a game, and he played as rogue. So I'm not sure. Maybe we'll see some of that. Maybe we'll see some other stuff. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell what exactly is strong for World of Warcraft 3v3. But I'm hoping they can get some more wins because I really like the World of Warcraft team, and they're very good. So yeah. Moving on to Fortnite, our Fortnite team was at the DreamHack Anaheim event. They could not get past semifinals. They were in the semifinals, but then they couldn't qualify for finals. So that kind of ended their run there. CSGO this morning played their first game at IEM Katowice prison, and we lost 0-2, but it was to Astralis. So I think that's okay.
Yeah, they're a good team.
Yeah, I think. I'm sorry.
Is that done with, or is there one more week?
No. There's tomorrow. I think we play Ninjas in Pajamas tomorrow.
Okay, so that would be Tuesday, and that did not happen.
Yes.
Technically.
Yeah. Technically. Yeah, I think the groups for this this IEM, we got like a fairly stacked group. Like our group has a lot of really tough teams and a lot of like European teams, I think, where like Group B has a bunch of North American teams that we could probably have a better time at like beating. The second game against Astralis though, we were on train and it was actually fairly close. I think we only lost like 16-12, I think, which is fairly good considering this team is somewhat new.
Yeah, and I actually didn't get a chance to watch it. I'm not gonna bullshit.
I got to watch like most of it at work.
Oh, so you watch CS:GO at work, and I count all-time LCS wins at work. So
look, I have to fill like the 12 hours somehow.
Sounds like both of us are quite productive.
I get shit done, and then it becomes time for me to goof off because nothing is happening. That's how my job goes.
Fair, but also same.
Yes, but they looked all right. I know that it's gonna be, the team hasn't played a lot, and it'll be really interesting to see if they can improve after IEM Katowice and maybe up their play a bit. I really do like this team, and I hope that we can hold on to them for a while because, like, just personality-wise, they seem really fun, and it feels just really fresh to have like a bunch of new guys. You can kind of get to know them, and they kind of play and approach things kind of differently, and it kind of feels more exciting versus watching like what we had for the past couple of years with like Automatic, and then a bunch of like us just trying to figure out people to slot in with him, and it just feeling stale and uninspired.
Yeah, a lot of like the old teams, it just felt like they just had like a bunch of names in a hat from like old European players, and they're like,
it definitely was that.
This guy left. Let's just pull a new name out. Oh,
I do miss the Flusha Kyo era, because I think like that was the last time that Cloud9 CS:GO actually felt really strong. Was when it was like Automatic, Flusha Kyo, and I can't remember who else was playing, but like that core for Cloud9 actually felt really strong, and we did fairly well for like the 2 months that it lasted.
Yeah, it was a very quick chapter in Cloud9's history.
Yeah, but I believe after Katowice, I think we maybe start playing in the Flashpoint League, which is like the new CS:GO. It might be a franchise league. I'm not sure if it's a franchise league or what, but it's like a new CS:GO league that is more designed for organizations and for players, and it was built by players. Like Cloud9 is like one of the founding organizations. I think they put in a lot of work to create this and kind of organize this. So it seems like a space where I think they're trying to make CS:GO more profitable and trying to make it more friendly to organizations rather than what's kind of is now, where it's just, well, you have a bunch of tournaments and you try to get invited to those tournaments, and if you don't, then it's like there's no point in playing, right? So it seems like they're trying to add some stability and to maybe more of a monetary incentive to being in CS:GO than how it has been.
Yeah, and at some point there has to be some kind of our return on investment for esports, or they can't really continue to function. So
For
if
sure.
this is a
Because
step in the right direction, then I feel like it is the right step.
yeah, I mean, if you look at like Rainbow Six, for example, a team that we barely see play, that according to Cloud9's president Dan Fiden, Rainbow Six is actually more profitable than the CS:GO team. Like they are constantly taking a hit in like financially on CS:GO because it's a team that is a very big part of the C9 brand, but it's not necessarily profitable because you either qualify for a tournament going through a qualifier, or you get invited, but if you don't get within like probably like top 4 or top 2, you get almost probably nothing in terms of like compensation, like like consolation money. So it seems like it is a very either go big or go home model, and I don't think that if you want esports to be sustainable, I don't think you can continue to function off of that model. And I think you have to go towards more franchised play where you're having organizations like we have this fixated position in this game. If we get investors, we can get more sponsors, and through those more investors and those more sponsors, we can maybe get a better team and all that kind of stuff. And I feel that just seems to be a more logical way to function than what you see in kind of like what CS:GO is, or like Fortnite, for example.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to both, but I feel like at some point some kind of league is inevitable.
Yeah, for sure.
And as a Cloud9 fan, I think it benefits us more than it hurts us. But
it totally benefits us more.
Yeah, we're one of the biggest brands in the world, so it helps us a lot while hurting other smaller teams. But it is what it is.
Exactly. Got to look out for top dog. Speaking of league, our Rocket League team did actually win. We lost their first 2 matches. We won 3-1 against Flight. The team still looks kind of shaky. There's something about how the team is playing where it just seems like they don't have as much confidence or as much synergy as they did in the past, and they're just really struggling sometimes to do things. It's definitely not the dominant Cloud9 that we signed maybe like 4 years ago, and it's weird. It really sucks to kind of see. I think that at least with this win, it'll give the team some confidence and maybe put some push back into for them to try to practice harder and try to get some more wins. But it's been a rough one for the Rocket League team.
Yeah, and it's been a long time for other teams to catch up and level the playing field. So you would think that last year and the early beginnings of this year would be a good reminder of them to step back up, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm really curious what's going to become of the Rocket League team, especially if their performance continues to kind of wane in this struggle period. If we're going to try to get them out of it and improve, or if we're going to start being like, hey, we may have to replace some of you so we can get back to the results that are up to our standard.
Yeah, I mean, Jack seems pretty hands off about that kind of thing in general for a non-LCS or related team. So
yeah, Jack is.
I guess we'll see.
And that's one of the things that I really like about Jack is a very kind of hands off owner. He puts a lot of trust into the coaches of our teams. Like the LCS team is really Reaper's team. Jack sometimes may help Reaper with making a decision, like with the benching. I think when that whole fiasco happened. But for the most part, that's Reaper's team. With the Spitfire, it's those 4 coaches' team. I'm not sure who coaches Rocket League, but whoever coaches it, that's kind of their team. And I think I like it because it's sort of giving the coaches responsibility to do what they think is right, without kind of having like a TSM situation where Reggie is constantly kind of butting into the league teams like functionality and being like, okay, you have to do, trying to like be a coach when he really shouldn't be, kind of deal. I kind of like that it feels like he cares about all the aspects of the team, but he cares enough to also give them enough autonomy to make their own decisions and be their own team, without having a lot of like corporate oversight.
Or yeah, and he also doesn't care enough unless there's a lot of money involved.
Yeah,
a little
also
bit
true.
Of both, I feel like.
I mean, hey, you have to be profit driven, right? When you own a business,
Yeah, of course.
You gotta think about that bottom line, baby.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm just being cynical.
No, I know it is somewhat true, but also kind of funny. Jack is the best.
I think you have some interesting Overwatch League stuff to talk.
I do.
Talk
I've
about.
been wanting
I
to
did
get
not
to
watch
this.
it, but
so the London Spitfire, and this was the 23rd Sunday. They played against the Washington Justice. This is at home. This is at the Washington Justice's homestead. And we played, Mount One was on Oasis, and we lost that like barely. And then we lost Hanamura. So we're down 0-2. And I am not sure if the coaches like personally threatened the players' families. I am not sure what they did to our players, but coming into the second half, it was a completely different team. They looked much more confident. They played a lot more aggressively. They did something that was actually never seen in Overwatch League before Frozen, which was they full held the Washington Justice within their own base on defense on Dorado. So for perspective, when it became London's turn to go on offense, all they had to do was step out of the base, get onto the cart, and then move like 3 feet.
oh wow!
I think the measuring in the game was like 4.35 meters, which is like nothing. So they managed to do an amazing defense. On Blizzard World, they full held the Justice, at that first point on defense. So it's 2-2. And then it was a very like stressful game on Nepal, but we managed to clutch out, and we managed to beat the Washington Justice 3-2 in a reverse sweep, and it was extremely exciting. I think you can tell, at least from this game, that our rookies have improved a little bit. I think they still have a long way to go, though. Like, like Glister and JMac, who are like, they're kind of built and as like, like the big names that you have to kind of play around. They kind of get caught out sometimes and just, they die a bit too often, which you can't have. Our supports are kind of doing a little bit of the same. There's still a long way to go, but it seems that if you look at from week 1 when we played versus this week, we have made a little bit of improvement. And I'm really pleased with that. I'm pleased we got like that first win. I think it's really important with like these rookies, especially, that you are getting some wins and gaining some confidence. And hopefully they can get some more this weekend. Saturday, February 29th, they play against the Houston Outlaws at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then Sunday, March 1st at 5 p.m. Eastern, they play against the Florida Mayhem. So this weekend, potentially some more wins. The Houston Outlaws have actually not won a game yet, I believe. They're like around dead last in the standings.
Yep, that is correct.
Which is good for us, because we can maybe farm at like an extra win or two off of this and have the team, kind of get some more confidence and really build that up, because it looks like when they play confidently, they are playing a lot better than when they're nervous.
Yeah, and they have a good chance against the Florida Mayhem too. I think they're 1-1 on the year, so there's a real chance they could pick up 2 wins this weekend. But hopefully that first win was a good taste on their tongues, because there's a lot of season left.
Yeah. There's so many weeks left. It's gonna be rough with travel and having to kind of fit practice into all that, and making sure that the team is prepared and ready and all that, and also kind of growing and improving. But the coaches seem to have confidence in how the team is playing. I'm glad that they got that win, and hopefully we can see another win, maybe 2 this weekend.
Yep, a good of time as any to pick up a few wins.
Yeah, for sure. But let's talk about League of Legends, because we are sitting on that nice 10-0 spot in the standings.
C10-0.
And the funny thing was, I think Sunday they were handing out shirts that said C9-0, like Cloud10-0. And then they won that one, and I saw Dash making a joke about like, oh, well, now the shirt's ruined. And he's saying like he has to like scratch out the 9 and write a 10 in.
You could do it with tape too. I mean, it wouldn't look
Yeah,
good, but
yeah.
you could.
Yeah, you could.
Still good. C10-0 is better than C9-0, although it does not
Yeah.
look quite as cute on a shirt.
No, it definitely doesn't roll off the tongue.
But yeah, this has been a pretty special year. Actually, the only bad thing I can think of was not only did it spent half his KDA on Saturday, he divided it by 3 on Sunday, because he died both days. So not
That's
ideal. But
yeah.
sorry,
Go ahead.
you go first. I was going to
Okay.
change topics.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say that this weekend's games were actually pretty good. I think we really demonstrated just an amount of control across the map and everything, and an understanding of what the enemy team is going to do to such a degree that it feels almost unfair. Blabber is playing out of his mind, not just individually on a mechanical level, but he seems to know, for the most part, when to fight and when not to fight. He seems to really trust his teammates, and his teammates seem to like back him up, and everyone else backs everyone else up. Our bot lane is just crushing it. I mean, Sven and Vulcan seem to just be light years ahead of any other bot lane right now. And I think that's an amazing thing, especially since last year we seemed to have like a really passive, kind of weak bot lane. So it feels good to actually have like a really strong bot lane. And the only, like, honestly, the only issue I had all weekend was that Licorish's play wasn't phenomenal. Like, he did good, minus the goofy set ult that he did towards the end against CLG, and him
in a base.
And when on Sunday when he played as Vladimir, he got caught out at Baron.
Yeah.
In that game Sunday, he literally did nothing because we were playing on the bottom half of the map so frequently. Like, there was no opportunities for him to do anything because we were always playing around Sven and Vulcan and Niski in that bottom half of the map.
Yeah, and then he got a one chance and died. But
Yeah, he had one chance to be effective and he died.
And then same on Saturday, that death, or the base dive where he ulted Misfortune out after Blabber like went like full like in second shit, like queued to someone, ward hopped and flashed behind misfortune kicked her in Licorice. It is like, oh, okay, and then ulted her out.
he
So
ulted
dumb.
her out.
But we still won in under 30 minutes. So
And I think
small misstep.
I think that's good, just in that it shows that we are still kind of making mistakes, and I think that it's good to make those kind of mistakes because it kind of gives us something to improve upon and kind of try to work towards, even if it's something as silly as, hey, Licorice, maybe not set ult every chance you get, because in that game Saturday against CLG, like before that tower dive, he was looking really good on set, and last week he looked even better on set. So I don't think that was, Licorice was just having an off weekend, really, especially since we were putting so much pressure in the bottom half of the map. There's not much for Licorice to do in general, that weekend. But, I think it's good that we're making mistakes just because it gives Reaper and the team something to kind of look at and go, okay, you made this mistake. How can we work to fix it? Or where can we go to like learn from it and do better like next time? And I think that's good. Because right now it looks like we're not really getting challenged much at all from the rest of the LCS teams.
Or yeah, there hasn't really been a real challenge yet, and I think what best illustrates that is that Cloud9 has the shortest average game time in the 4 major leagues, not counting LPL because they've played like 2 weeks of league. So
yeah, I think LPL's like on like a weird hiatus, or they're doing like online matches or something.
I think they're scrimming still, so they're just scrimming and not playing.
Okay, I think they're maybe
the league.
Broadcasting the scrims or something though, aren't they?
Maybe I haven't seen.
I thought I read something that they were going to like broadcast this or like stream the scrims or something, or let the teams stream the scrims just so LPL fans can see something. I'm not sure what the full situation on that is.
Yeah, I just know that the LPL Twitch channel is not casting games, so
Right.
but Cloud9's average game time of 29.6 minutes, which is is the fastest of everyone in the world. The closest is actually Fnatic at 29.8, so it's 0.2 minutes behind us. But still, we're dominating teams, and it's really not even close.
Yeah, I don't see anyone really coming close to coming towards the level of play that we're seeing, and I think that comes back to the fact that we put so much emphasis on our boot camp in Korea. Sven and Vulcan, like of their own accord, were like, okay, we're gonna go by ourselves and make sure that our synergy is on point and we understand what the game is like coming into the new year and everything. And then they practice as a team, and then you look at like Team Liquid who barely boot camped. They took a vacation, and now Team Liquid is sitting next to last place and looking like a joke of a team, because they barely practiced, and even the teams that did seem to practice are not faring too much better either. And it seems that our prep work and our determination to like really get stronger seems to have really benefited us.
Or yeah, I agree. To add a little bit more to those stats, Klein also has the highest KDA among all world teams by quite a lot. Cloud9's KD is 3.53. Origin has the highest LEC KD, and it's a 1.58. And Genji has the highest LCK KD at 2.1. So like we're just beating the shit out of teams, and I think it does go back to the boot camp. But I also think that a lot of these guys are hungry and prepared to win. And I guess if there was some sort of culture problem before, beforehand last year, I think they figured it out.
Yeah, I think they have too. It seems like they definitely were able to fix a lot just internally and individually, I think that they definitely were able to fix some stuff. I'm not pointing any fingers at anyone specifically, because we don't know. And I think also just the people that we did pick up, we got people that were just super hard workers, like Sven and Vulcan, both individually and as a duo, seem to be just amazingly driven players, and they want to just be the best and improve constantly. And Sven is known for just grinding solo queue and just playing game after game after game to really understand like a new champion or matchups, or just keep his edge sharp. So I am all for this Cloud9 roster, and I'm hoping that they can do some real good this season.
Yeah, so I guess we went the first half of the split undefeated. We started the second half against Immortals. What do you feel is going to happen this weekend?
This weekend's going to be interesting. Saturday, February 29th at 5 p.m. Eastern, we play against FlyQuest. And then we don't play again until March 2nd, which is a Monday, for our Monday Night League 8:30 p.m. or 9:30 p.m. I'm sorry, Eastern game against Dig. Honestly, like the standings are weird because like before this weekend, Immortals was the second place team, and we beat them so handily. Like at 17 minutes, we had all 3 out of turrets down. We were on soul point, and I think Sven was nearing getting like 100 souls on a Senna, which is absolutely insane that we were that far ahead at only 17 minutes into a game. And we made Immortals look like a complete joke, and they were like the second place team. FlyQuest is a little better, but I think that we're just so strong, and I think we understand what we need. We understand our own personal win conditions, and we're playing our own sort of style rather than, some other teams who are just trying to like copy Korea or Europe and see like, oh, well, they're playing this, so we have to play this. It seems like Cloud9 really understands like not only what is strong in the game as a whole, but what's strong for them. And they're able to really flex on that. And I think that we can be able to beat FlyQuest. It could be difficult because, Viper and Power of Evil, and I think maybe into a lesser extent, Wild Turtle and Ignar have all been playing very well, but I think that we are a step above them, and I think that we can fairly decisively beat FlyQuest, and I think Dignitas should be an even easier match, since Dignitas seems to be like maybe a level below FlyQuest.
Yeah, as I've said the past couple of weeks, no one is good except Cloud9. It just seems that FlyQuest sucks the least.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Yeah, and we do get a good feeling of where both teams are at this weekend. Immortals is in third, Dig is in fourth, tied with TSM. I guess they both play tonight. Dig plays Team Liquid, so you guys will know the result of that match, and we will in 2 hours, but we do not know. So we will know who the tied for third teams are. It could be one or both of them, and we are setting ourselves up for a pretty difficult week next week, but on paper at least. But I don't think either of these teams are good.
I think FlyQuest can be good. Dig seems all right. I think that they kind of did what they did maybe kind of last year. I can't remember last year, so I actually shouldn't say that. But Dig seems all right. Personally, I think as long as we continue to stick to our practice, as long as Reaper makes sure that the team doesn't get complacent and too overconfident, I think we should be able to beat anyone right now. And there's no reason that we shouldn't, considering how well we've been playing and how well we seem to understand how the game is going and everything. We should be able to beat FlyQuest and Dignitas. At the most, we should be able to beat Dignitas. I could see us maybe dropping a game I don't think that we're going to be able to have like a perfect season. And FlyQuest may be one of the teams that we drop it to. But I think for sure we should beat Dignitas.
Yeah, I think we've already started to see the team experiment. The support AD Senna was something I did not expect to see, and I think
It was
all with
honestly,
stats.
it was incredibly powerful, actually, which was funny.
Yeah, and then a Vulcan out farming the opposing ADC on Tom Kench was also something else.
I also do like stuff like, seeing Lickers pick like Vlad in the top lane or Niski going Rumble. Those are picks that are kind of outside their strengths, right? Like, Lickers has never really been much of a Vladimir player, I don't think, and Niski, at least to my knowledge,
a few times.
I can't remember for sure.
And it's always been bad.
Right.
Rumble,
and Niski, I don't think has ever played Rumble until this weekend. So it's nice to see us kind of getting outside our comfort zone with picks and saying like, okay, can you play this and how comfortable do you feel on it? That way we can kind of determine as we get closer and closer to playoffs, like what is our idea of how we're going to build our compositions for best of series. And I really like it. And it makes sense. We're 10-0. We should be experimenting at this point.
Yeah, there's no point in making playoffs at 18-0 and only being able to play one or two comps when we have like 3 games in hand on second place. So we have room to spare, though I don't want to see them drop games this weekend because FlyQuest can catch up real fast if.
Oh yeah, they're only 3 wins behind us.
But I think not even just on paper, but in every stat, Cloud9 should just blow them away. I mean, it might take them 33 minutes, but it should be in C12-0. So
I like it. Well, I can't think of anything else.
Actually, one last thing. We have been talking with other esports podcasts, and if you are interested, I am trying to get onto the League Leaders podcast this week, which is the Dignitas podcast for LCS. So we will share the links and stuff on Twitter, and if you're interested in that, come on down and listen to me make fun of them for calling themselves the first fan-based team-centric podcast in North American esports, even though we were two years ahead of them. So
that's right. You tell them, President.
I will roast them real well if I do get on there.
Yeah, definitely support Frozen and listen to that podcast he's on. We're gonna try and branch out and have some more guests from other podcasts on. Maybe get on other podcasts. There seems to be quite a few podcasts now, actually, that kind of do what we do for other teams. So we may start doing that more. There's nothing certain. Especially since we tried this once in the past, and it didn't quite work out as well as we thought. But it seems to be a much more, I guess, more interested environment now. But definitely keep an eye out for that. Also, make sure to follow us at C9 Bodied on Twitter. We can, you can keep up to date on if we're going to be on any other shows or if we're going to have a guest, anything like that. Just add us and we'll see you there.
Yeah, and we're still looking for another host. So I'm gonna try to advertise that a little bit more, but I wanted to give listeners of the pod the first chance to get their names in. So you can DM us at C9Bodied on Twitter, or shoot us an email at bodiedfancast@gmail.com.
Yes, please do so, because it's not as fun, and it's probably not as fun to listen either to just me or just Frozen. Just talking for like 15 minutes or something, because there's no one to kind of talk back with, and it's probably also not maybe enjoyable to, if you do follow this show religiously, and it's like, oh well, where's the episode for this weekend? And there's no new episode because I had to work night shift or something, or Frozen was busy with work stuff for him and couldn't make it work that week. So it's like, well, we're out a week, so we kind of missed on a week's worth of news, and it gets all hectic. So it'd be great to kind of have a filler in, or a third person just in general, to kind of have some more conversation.
Or yeah, so that's the plan. So please, if you're interested, let us know. If you know someone who would be interested, let us know.
Yes.
All right.
But
well, hopefully nothing big happens this week.
Yeah, hopefully not. That's going to be it for us today, though. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you next episode.
Bye, guys.